Take us through, let's start at the top and take us through what your thoughts were on the main event.
You know, I tell you, when the fight between Roman and Levon, that was, to me, that was an exciting fight. It was action-packed, went back and forth. I think the right guy won. Going into the second fight with Fortune and Daniel James, I was really surprised that the outcome was what it was. I mean, you know, Fortune is a guy that we had, you know, spent a lot of time developing and building, but James, that's a big man. When he starts punching, I would not want to be on the end of those big punches, but, you know, a guy weighs 280 pounds, cuts to 261. It's, you know, he's going to be a force to be reckoned with. So I'm excited to see what happens with him, and he's got a great fan base here, and, you know, we'll put him in some more big fights here.
Take us through the main event.
Okay.
You know, 7 months delayed to figure out who the champ was going to be, and like we talked about the other day, things could be a lot different after 7 months, and it looks like they probably were.
I'll tell you, if I'm Corey, I'm really upset now, because, you know, to me, that first fight, he turned the tide in that fight, and I thought he was on his way to win that fight. And then the cut happened, which he identified, and he brought it to Frank Trigg's attention, and the fight stopped. As you guys all know, that's what happened. And we went by the rules, and if he would just kept punching for 4 seconds, you know, he would have been the champ, won the $1 million, and won the tournament belt. So, you know, to fight in his hometown pretty much here, I know he's from Rockford, close by, and had a you know, a decent outing, but not enough to beat Nemkov. So it was Nemkov's night. I thought it was a very technical fight, went back and forth. You know, there's some good exchanges, heated exchanges, but you know, to me, I think Nemkov clearly won.
If Corey would have not said anything to Frank in April, and won the belt, do you think you still would have done a rematch? I mean, we might have seen this fight here tonight anyways?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you know, it's, you know, we would maybe it would have been a rematch, and the tournament would have been over. But I think that this is a fight that maybe we might run it back another time, you know, down the line. Let's see how those guys do. Nemkov has a big fight against Joel Romero on February 4th in Los Angeles on CBS, which we're really excited about. So I think he's going to be busy, but let's see how these guys, you know, run the division and see, you know, when they can, you know, end up meeting again.
And we have Usman. You got a new champ now at lightweight, so you no longer have brothers as simultaneous champions. It lasted as long as it did, but Usman was a huge favorite in this fight, and it seemed like he just kind of cruised, right?
Yeah, you know what? He started working that length and that distance and those kicks, and working on those side kicks to the leg and inside kicks. You know, and he just seemed like Pitbull did not have an answer for the distance that Usman could create between him and Pitbull. So he didn't have an answer, and, you know, there were some good exchanges by Pitbull throughout the fight, you know, once in a while, but Usman was busy. If you look at his kick count or his striking count, I mean, it's really, I think it's pretty impressive. I think it's way up there. So, you know, clearly he dominated the fight. I don't think, you know, it was really even close, but, you know, Pitbull will be back. I think, you know, he's got a lot of gas left in the tank, and you know how it is. Sometimes you just have an off night, you know, and maybe you need time to figure it out, and he'll go back and watch his fight, watch a film, and I'm sure they'll develop a strategy to come back and, you know, to do it again.
Do you guys have a time frame yet for when you will announce who's going to be in the lightweight Grand Prix?
That's something that we'll probably announce soon, but I would say maybe in the next 2 or 3 weeks. Probably.
Oh, that soon, huh?
Yeah, we want to get this thing going sometime early next year.
By early next year, I mean, would you start it at the show in LA?
You know what? That hasn't been determined, really. We have a great main event with Fedor Emelianenko fighting Ryan Bader. That's going to be a great rematch. And, you know, the past doesn't equal the future, you know, and so anything can happen. Fedor still, you know, has, like I said, he's still a great striker, and he's still a great fighter, has some good speed. And this will be his final fight. He's putting the gloves down in the cage. It's going to be a historical moment. I mean, this guy's done it all. He doesn't need to fight anymore, but he wants to fight one last time, and he wanted to fight Bader. He's on a 3-fight or 4-fight win streak. I think he's 3-1 in his last 4 fights, and like rank number 3. I think he deserves it, and we're going to put that fight together. And I think that's going to be a great fight. And then Nemkov fighting Yoel is going to be another great fight. We're going to add one more fight. The CBS portion will be 3 fights on television, and then we'll have a great undercard. But we haven't determined what that slot's going to be.
Was it any work to get Fedor to agree to do it in LA? I mean, I know you guys talked about wanting to do it in Russia at one point, and then obviously that's never going to happen. But was there any hesitation on his part to come over here and do it, or
No.
did he feel like he had no other option as well?
You know what, I tell you, it's the world has changed since we went to Russia and promoted in October. So going back to Russia was not an option. We did have a date. I think it was July 11th at the in Red Square. It was going to be an amazing fight, and that was going to be Fedor's final fight. But for obvious reasons, we couldn't do it, and it just didn't happen. And he was waiting and waiting, and he wants to fight really bad, and he's going to be ready to go, and he wanted to fight Ryan Bader. He wanted to have a revenge fight. So he could have said, look, I want somebody that's maybe ranked number 8, 9, 10. He wants the top guy, and so I respect him for that. And I tell you, he'll be ready. He's going to come, and he's going to be firing on all cylinders on February 4th.
Hey Scott, what can you tell us about this new CBS deal? It seems like a huge move for the promotion. Will it just be this one next event in February, or is it going to be all events moving forward?
Well, the thing is, we've been since the merger, we've been working on trying to get this done, and it's something that we had an opportunity to grab this slot, and this came down, I would say, in the last 3 to 4 weeks. So we grabbed it, and then we're going to talk about what comes next after this fight. Of course, we're going to try our best to work hard and try to get some multi-dates next year, but it's not. We just haven't gotten that far. But when they told me there was an opportunity to do this fight on February 4th, I grabbed it and I said, let's go, because one of the beauties about this company is that Viacom owns Bellator, but they also own Showtime and CBS. But trying to get all the pieces in place and get everybody aligned. It's just taking time. So now that the time is here, I'm really excited to put this fight on. It's been a long time since we've had a fight on MMA on CBS. So I think it's been 12 years. So I'm really excited. I'm really excited about being on CBS. I'm really excited about the fight card we're going to bring, and it's going to be a great night of fights. It's going to be a celebration of Bellator, and the top 3 fights will be on the broadcast.
And on the topic of Fedor versus Bader, any clarity on whether Lynn Vassell will wait and fight the winner of that matchup, or maybe take another fight in the meantime?
I believe he's going to fight in between. So we're talking about him fighting sometime in March, maybe in San Jose. We haven't announced the dates, but we're looking at San Jose in March, and some of the opponents we're talking about for Lynn Vassell. I know Chet Congo's name has come up. I know Moldavsky's name has come up. So we'll see what happens.
And Archie Colgan, he showed out on the prelims tonight, a 50-second TKO finish, moves to 6-0, 1-0 as a lightweight. Is there any chance he'll be in that lightweight Grand Prix, or maybe on the main card of his next fight?
The thing about the lightweight division is it's a really, really stacked, division for us. So he'd have to be, ranked in the top 10, let's say, or top 11, 12. And depending on what happens with some of our athletes, whether they come into the tournament or they want to fight in a different weight class, we're still having conversations. But I think the lightweight is going to be a great tournament for next year, and the participants just have not been picked yet.
And then lastly, what did you make of this crowd tonight? It was a great atmosphere to watch fights.
Yes.
You think you guys might come back here next year, 2023?
Yeah, listen, we were booked here actually in 2020 before COVID hit. So we were coming to the arena here, and in March we got shut down. I think our date was in June. So we had planned to come to Chicago, and if before that we've thrown a lot of great fights. And my past company, we've had a lot of great fights. A lot of the Fedor fights were here in Chicago. So we really like it here, and I think there's a big fan base. You saw it. I know we sold out tonight, so it was a packed house, and they're passionate. And there's a lot of good fighters. And what I love about going to cities like this is, finding the next, star, finding the next prospect, the next blue chip prospect, and that's what we do when we come into town, and give some of the local guys opportunities. And so we'll be back for sure.
Hey Scott, speaking of Chicago, you had Daniel James with a very big upset tonight, got a big pop from the crowd. I was wondering what your reaction was to seeing kind of the hometown hero get born.
Yeah, you can see the crowd, how passionate they were and how much they loved it. I mean, like I said, that is a big guy. That's a big man throwing some big bombs on you. So, I think that Fortune was a little bit overwhelmed at, when he got hurt. And, I think they stopped the fight, rightfully so. But we'll definitely have him back and keep him going and see how he develops. Is he ready to fight, the top guys yet? I'm not sure. But, we'll definitely get him in the mix, and so he can keep getting experience, to get to that point where he could fight, Moldowski or Bader or somebody like that.
And you mentioned how happy you were to be back in Chicago, first time since 2019. But what about being in this, brand new arena as well? I think this arena is only 4 or 5 years old. How did it work tonight?
Yeah, it's a beautiful arena. I think it looks really good on TV as well. I think it looked just looked fantastic, and it's intimate to where you can hear the fans when they cheer. It's loud in there, and you saw the reception to some of the athletes. I mean, that you could tell there were definitely some hometown favorites here tonight.
And last one for me, you had Stotts and Sabatello here to do a little bit of promotion for their upcoming fight. Are you expecting this to be one of the biggest rivalries in Bellator? It seems like you guys are pushing it as such.
You know what? I don't think that what you're saying is anything like acting. I think these guys really do not like each other, and that was really clear to me early on. And so, we're giving them opportunities to talk, speak their mind, and have a chance to get to know each other like they did tonight. But at the end of the day, it's going to be a great fight, and the winner of that fight will go on to the finals, fight for the $1 million. So this is a really, really, really big moment for both those kids, and they both came out of nowhere. If you think about it, it's from let's say fighting on the undercard and worked their way up, and both those kids are super talented, and I'm really looking forward to that fight on December 9th at the Mohegan Sun.
Hey, Scott, over here. You said to ask you after Usman's win or the fight if you would think he could maybe be Bellator's version of Habib. So what do you think now?
Yeah, you know what? He showed me a lot tonight because every time he fights, I feel like he's a different guy, and so. Today, he didn't, he definitely didn't want to get into some heated exchanges with Pitbull, so he fought smart, technical, started working that distance, made it really hard for Pitbull to come in, started doing some damage, and then, there's a couple times he took him down and tried to get the submission and but, I've seen other times where he goes straight to his wrestling and straight for the takedown. So, my thought on Usman is he's a dangerous fighter, right? He's got a lot of weapons. So anybody that fights him has to be very, very skilled and very good, because this kid is young. He's got a lot to grow, but I'll tell you right now, he's one of our most dangerous fighters because he's so complete. He's got the complete game, right? When you talk about mixed martial arts, sometimes people have great wrestling, sometimes they have great jiu-jitsu, sometimes they have great striking, but he's able to do all three. And I've been to his camp in San Jose. I've watched him train with his, Habib and Javier and all those guys, and it's a serious atmosphere, and it's like, it's like watching a pay-per-view fight, that you're watching these guys spar. That's the level that you're seeing these guys work out, and there's no joking around in there. They're getting it on. So, when you have that level of expertise training you and teaching you and guiding you, and the AKA has such a great gym. They probably have 60, 70 fighters there that, most of them are killers or top-ranked guys, and it's a dangerous gym, and he's one of the most dangerous in that gym. So I've seen him develop for a while, and he impressed me tonight.
It's kind of crazy for you to see how popular he is already too, because just looking at how early he is still into his Bellator career, despite just becoming champion. Like, when you see how much of a star he kind of has already become.
Yeah. And you know what? I saw it in his last fight when he fought in Seattle, too. He came out, there was fans waiting for him, and he had a big ovation when he came in. He had a big ovation when he fought. And so, he's on his way. Believe me, this kid's on his way. He's very special. And think about this, he's only 24 years old, right? That's one of the reasons why we went after him to get him, to sign him, is that we knew he was young, we knew he was talented. I watched him in the gym over there, and we said we got to grab this kid, and so we went out and were very aggressive and made a deal.
And real quick, Scott, just wanted to get your thoughts on something we talked about yesterday with Dillon Danis' Antics. I don't know if you saw it today, but he got into a bit of a scuffle with another one of your past fighters, Anthony Taylor. Did you see this? What do you think about this continual?
I didn't see it, but I heard about it. So he told me about it, and I don't know. I'm not sure what to think about it. But all I gotta say is Anthony and to Dillon, like, you shouldn't be out there fighting for free. If you want to fight for free, please give me a call. But you're a professional prize fighter, and you should fight in the cage or do it in the ring or But I'm not sure what the tactics there are.
Well, I gotta ask too. Like, is it a little bit frustrating at all though to see like Dillon specifically continue to get into these things because people will associate him, with Bellator because it's the last place he's fought, and it's despite it being a while, they'd be like, oh, he's a Bellator guy, he's causing all this trouble. Is that annoying at all for you?
I'll tell you, the thing that is really, I said frustrating is when you think about Dillon Danis, the guy has a great ground game. He's one of the best jiu-jitsu guys on the planet at one time, right? So, we signed him, we wanted to develop him, we wanted him to, come into our system and start fighting and fight tougher guys and work your way up. But I think that, got sidetracked a little bit and, other things get in the way, and I don't even know how to respond, but, to me, he had a lot of potential, and so, we can't make him do it. He's got to want to do it, but right now he's doing something else.
Thanks, Scott.
Hi, Scott. Congrats on another successful event. Vadim Nemkov showed his heart. He defended all the takedowns. He did everything right tonight. Got the win. Do you think he's the best light heavyweight in the world?
Well, he is right now, right? Until somebody dethrones him, that's how I feel. I mean, I think Corey's had good success against other leagues, champions or runners up, and Nemkov looked really impressive tonight. So, to me, I can only speak to Bellator actually, and really it's like, until he gets beat or he gets dethroned, loses the crown, I think he's definitely, one of the best on the planet.
Scott, one quick one from me. Just looking ahead to 2023, are there any other venues or locations you're looking at that maybe Bellator hasn't gone to that you'd like to target in the near future?
Absolutely. But I can tell you this, I can't give specific dates, but we are going to revisit some, we'd like to go to LA, we'd like to go to the Bay Area, we go back to the Mohegan Sun a lot. We will be revisiting Pechanga, the casino in Temecula. Again, they've just reopened up. They were closed down because of COVID. We will be going back to Hawaii again this year for the 2 shows. We do a Friday night military show and Saturday night open to the public. We will be going back to Paris. We're going to be doing the fight in Tokyo at the end of this year against Ryzen. So we do have a lot of venues that we've returned to, and we have a couple new ones that we're going back to. But when I think about international expansion, some of the countries that come up in my mind is maybe Amsterdam, maybe Stockholm, something in Europe. But domestically, we're going to continue to go to a lot of the cities that we have gone. But don't be surprised, especially expanding to come back to the East Coast. We'll definitely be back in Chicago, but we're gonna at some point go back to New York City as well.
Great, and then one other quick one from me. You had mentioned the February 4th card as well. Just kind of curious, for the undercard, will those fights be on Showtime, or will they also be part of the CBS broadcast?
So the undercard fights will air like the undercard fights here tonight. You'll be able to find them on Pluto, the Bellator MMA channel on Pluto TV. You'll be able to find them on the Bellator app, which will take you to the Bellator YouTube channel. The Showtime app, I believe, which will take you to the Showtime YouTube channel. So there'll be many opportunities to watch it. And I'm not sure if it's airing on Paramount Plus.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, so we're still working out some of the details of that, but you will be able to find it, where you normally find the undercard fights here for us.